Hi everyone, it's Lisa from Everywhere Joy. So today I want to talk to you about resistance. Now, a couple weeks ago, I had posted on Instagram and Facebook something that came to me during my quiet meditation time. And the quote was, "Every moment is pregnant with joy. We just need to acknowledge the joy in order to bring it to life." And you know that the morning that I had that thought come to me, I was just full of joy. I was looking for joy in everything. I was like, wow, this is so true. Like every moment is pregnant with joy. We just have to acknowledge it. But I can tell you the very next day when I woke up in the morning to get ready for my quiet time, to get ready for the day, wow, bam, I was hit with resistance. You see, our bodies get so used to a certain way of being when we have emotions like anger and bitterness and hate. It releases chemicals within our body, and our body becomes addicted to those chemicals. So when when someone like me who has been a habitual pessimist is trying to find joy and is ready to find joy and wants to find joy, my body's like, whoa, wait a second. We need those chemicals to be released that we're used to, because even though I don't want to be anger and bitter, my body feels comfortable in that anger and bitterness and the negativity. So there's a resistance that happens within me. And what I want to share with you today is that resistance is not who we are. I shared with you how fear and anxiety has been a major part in my life, particularly in the, like 10 years ago. And there was a journey that I went on to deal with fear and anxiety. And what I had learned was that fear and anxiety are just something I experience. I used to own fear and anxiety. I used to say, oh, I'm so fearful, I'm so anxious. And, I would meet with some of my friends. I have this close group of friends that I meet with, and I would cry about how fearful and anxious I am, and they would, just love me and take care of me. But it took a while for me on my journey to realize that fear is just something I experience. It's not who I am. It's just something that's there. And the same thing goes with resistance. We can believe that resistance is who we are. I'm never going to be able to work out in the morning. I'm never going to be able to have a quiet meditation, prayer time. Because when you wake up in the morning and you haven't done something, that resistance is going to be a part of your life. It's going to be there, but it's not who you are. And that's what I want to make clear to you, is that resistance is just an experience. It's just something we experience. We don't have to follow it. Actually, we should not follow it, especially when something is good for us. But I wanted to share with you something that helped me on my road to discovering that fear, anxiety, resistance is not who I am. And I did a lot of soul searching when I was dealing with fear and anxiety, because that's what sometimes I think God puts those things in your lap for you to deal with, and to grow closer to Him, and to grow to be a better person. So one of the places, as I was building upon dealing with fear, because I had resistance to fear. I was fighting fear. I didn't want to experience fear. And guess what, guys? Fear is just part of life. That anxious feeling, the butterflies in your stomach, that's just the way life is. And for me, it took me a long time, because I experienced it not only mentally but physically, and everyone does. If you pay attention to your body, you experience fear and anger and happiness and joy physically within your body. And so fear and anger came to me. I would get this just a tightness in my head, and then my stomach, right where my adrenals were, releasing that cortisol, which is so fantastic for us girls over 50. Just creating this, this terrible feeling in there, this burning and aching. So there was this physical manifestation in my body. The chemicals were being released, and I was resisting it. I didn't want to feel that way. But as the years have gone on, what I realize is that that's just fear. Fear is there. It's got to, it's going to do its thing. Fear is there to help me, and I can acknowledge it. And that's what I've done. I've acknowledged it and said, okay, fear, you're there. I know you are. I know you're there to protect me, but I'm gonna, it's okay. You can be okay. I know you're there, but I don't have to follow you. And one of the writers, as I was, on this search to how to overcome fear, one of the writers, or one of the books that I had come in contact with was this book, Big Magic, by Elizabeth Gilbert. And Elizabeth Gilbert is the gal who wrote Eat, Pray, Love. And I really like this book because it's about her creative process and creativity in general. And it's just a very entertaining book. I wanted to share with you how she dealt with fear. So I'm going to read this to you. It's called The Road Trip. So here's how I've learned to deal with my fear. I made a decision a long time ago that if I wanted creativity in my life, and I do, then I will have to make space for fear too. Plenty of space. I decided that I would need to build an expansive enough interior life that my fear and my creativity could peacefully coexist, since it appeared that they would always be together. In fact, it seems to me that fear and my creativity are basically co-joined twins, as evidenced by the fact that creativity cannot take a single step forward without fear marching right alongside it. Fear and creativity share a womb. They were born at the same time, and they still share some vital organs. This is why we have to be careful in how we handle our fear, because I've noticed that when people try to kill off fear, they often end up inadvertently murdering their creativity in the process. So I don't try to kill off my fear. I don't go to war against it. Instead, I make all that space for it, heaps of space, every single day. I'm making space for fear right in this moment. I allow my fear to live and breathe and stretch out its legs comfortably. It seems to me that the less I fight my fear, the less it fights back. If I can relax, fear relaxes too. In fact, I cordially invite fear to come along with me everywhere I go. I even have a welcoming speech prepared for me, which I delivered right before embarking upon any new project or a big adventure. It goes something like this, and I love this, guys. This is really cute. Dear Fear, creativity and I are about to go on a road trip together. I understand that you'll be joining us because you always do. I acknowledge that you believe you have an important job to do in my life and that you take your job seriously. Apparently, your job is to induce complete panic whenever I'm about to do anything interesting. And may I say, you are superb at your job. So by all means, keep doing your job if you feel you must. But I will also be doing my job on this road trip, which is to work hard and stay focused. And creativity will be doing its job, which is to remain stimulating and inspiring. There's plenty of room in this vehicle for all of us, so make yourself at home, but understand this. Creativity and I are the only ones who will be making any decisions along the way. I recognize and respect that you are part of this family, and so I will never exclude you from our activities, but still, your suggestions will never be followed. You're allowed to have a seat and you're allowed to have a voice, but you are not allowed to have a vote. You are not allowed to touch the road maps. You are not allowed to suggest detours. You are not allowed to fiddle with the temperature. Dude, you are not even allowed to touch the radio. I love that. But above all else, my dear old friend, you are absolutely forbidden to drive. And guys, that's how we have to deal with those negative emotions that come up in us. Fear, anxiety, resistance, which is what this is supposed to be about. That resistance that comes up when you want to move forward and become a better person or try something new or go on a new, to do something new and exciting. That resistance will come up against you. But know that it's there, but it's not who we are. So we don't need to listen to resistance, and we can move past resistance. We can say, hey, resistance, there you are. That's cool. It's cool that you're here. You're trying to keep me where I'm comfortable, but I'm going to move on and just go past it. So guys, I hope, me sharing this, how I deal with resistance after I had this wonderful thought come to me about how every moment is pregnant with joy, how resistance came in and was like, nah, it isn't. No, you're not going to find joy this morning. And me pushing past that resistance and saying, okay, you're not, it's what you're saying is not the truth, and that I can push past you. So guys, I hope you have a joy-filled, wonderful day. Enjoy the sunshine if you're experiencing a beautiful spring day like we are here in Pennsylvania. Enjoy. Just soak it all up. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.